Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. I thought we'd come and chat for a little bit. I hope y'all having a wonderful day. It's raining out here again, but that's okay. We'll take the rain. Supposedly we have a drought here in East Texas, so I guess we need it. Anyway, I think I brought you guys some news about me going to the doctor because I was having female problems, you know. So I thought I would touch on doctors today and the elderly, because I've been noticing so many things about how I've been kind of just not really, I don't know what you would say. How would I say it? Like, I'm not getting paid attention to, or they just don't care because I'm getting older. And so I have a few stories. But I went yesterday and was examined by a, what are those nurses called? It wasn't a doctor. Nurse practitioner. Okay, she's my regular nurse practitioner because I've been at the doctor's office since we moved here to Texas, and it'll be 2 years in April, and I have never met the doctor. Okay, only the nurse practitioner. Okay, so anyway, I had called about a female problem, and I wanted to get referred to a gynecologist. And usually I was seeing one every year. But then they told me about 3 years ago, oh, you don't need to see a gynae anymore for pap tests, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know, I kind of let that just go in one ear and out the other, because I had cancer when I was 30, and if I wouldn't have been, and I think I've told you guys about this, if I did not get checked every year, I would have never found it, and probably would not be here making YouTube videos. But anyway, so at the time, they ended up having to give me a hysterectomy, leaving my ovaries. Well, ever since then, I have had to have multiple operations on my bladder. It kept falling. They tacked it up here in Texas when I was here before, and about 20 years ago. Then when I went, what else? Oh, then it fell again in 2 years. So they sent me to a different doctor who gave me that sling, the urinary sling. Well, then, of course, those got recalled, and I was trying to figure out how they going to find that thing to get it. But anyway, so I ended up being sent to Mayo Clinic, and they had to get whatever they could find to take it out. You can read all about it on the internet and what was going on then with the slings, because if I tell you, we'll be here all day. But anyway, so me and my sister-in-law both had the same sling put in, and both of us had to get it taken out. But anyway, she was in Chicago, I was here in Texas. But to make a long story short, my bladder fell, they had to take that out, and then I had to get another bladder tuck, and that lasted about 2 years, and then I had to go back, and I had to get another sling put in. Well, I was a little hesitant about having another sling put in because of all the problems women had before and such. But anyway, the doctor I went to was in Jacksonville, Florida, and she was just awesome. And she used my own flesh, I guess it is, to make the sling. And it worked perfect. I didn't have no problems with it. And I told you, I think last time, that until I went to a doctor for that I didn't know, because I had moved, and he was kind of rough with me, and after that I started having problems again. But I never really went back to, I never went back to him, but I never went really to a gynecologist but once. And that's when the lady told me, oh, at your age, you don't need to get a pap test no more. But to make a long story short, I kept asking for an appointment with a gynae here since I've been here, because I think that's important, obviously, you know. But, and I never got it. I never got the referral. And in the insurance, the Medicare insurance I have, the Advantage plan I have, I am a PPO, and I am not supposed to have referrals. But here, they said, well, that's our office that requires you to have a referral, so we know we can get paid, or something like that. So anyway, she never gave me this nurse practitioner never gave me a referral to a gynae. And then when I called a few weeks ago because I felt swollen and I felt like something was not right, they gave me an appointment to see her first, and then they were supposed to give me my referral to see a gynae. Okay, well anyway, making a long story short, because this is not what I want this video to be about, she checked me out, and when she used that thing for the pap test, and when she pulled it out, I thought I was going to see stars. I don't know what the hell she did. But anyway, I had Bert in there with me, because after what happened to me and the last time I got that, the time before the last time that guy did it, I mean, you know, I didn't want none of that happening again without somebody being around. So, when she finished, she said, well, she said, I'm not sure what is in there. I assume it's your bladder that fell again. She said, but it could be a rectocele. And if you don't know what that is, meaning the rectum fell, right? So she said, but it would be a waste of time. I wouldn't worry about it. I was like, a waste of time? She said, well, yeah, you know, she was talking about my age. That's what she was talking about, okay? This is why I'm making this video. I want everybody who watches this video, watches my videos, period. I want you to stick up for yourself at the doctor. Don't just take whatever they say as the word of God or whoever you think your higher power is. Because lately I've been finding, even with Bert and his dementia, you know, it's really funny because when this is the same nurse practitioner who diagnosed him with dementia, okay? When she did that, all she did was say, okay, she had given him a brain scan. Was it a CAT scan or brain scan? I don't know. And she said, well, he must have had 2 or 3 seizures, not seizures, strokes, you know, and previously, and he has vascular dementia. Okay, that's all she told us. And then I was like, I was so speechless, I didn't even know what to say at that time. So, of course, by the time I got home, I had tons of questions. I guess my mind couldn't believe it, for one thing. So, when she didn't even tell me about it. She didn't tell me what we needed to do for it, or if anything, what I could expect, whatever, you know. I think the only thing she did tell me was that life expectancy was 5 years or less. That's all she told me. So, I don't know what I expected her to tell me. However, I started watching videos and I started reading up online and all this stuff to find out whatever I could. And I've always been that way since I've had cancer. I have always been that way. To get online, read stuff, check other people's, you know, things that happen with them. But it was just so nonchalant. Like, okay, well, he had 2 or 3 strokes, we believe, and he has vascular dementia. take this pill, have him take this pill at night. It slows it down a little, sometimes, not all the time. And she said, and our time is up, so if you have any other questions, you can ask me later. So, of course, I started writing questions to her because that's the only way that you can do it between appointments. That's the way they got it now, email. And they weren't getting answered. And then I, of course, have always been keeping track of, what's his name? The guy who, I can't remember his name. Dang it. I am so tired of not remembering stuff. Maybe I'm the one with dementia. Who knows? Well, he has frontal lobe dementia, I guess it is. Frontal lobe. And he was an actor. And I can't remember his name or his ex-wife's name. Boy, that's really bad. But anyway, so what caught me funny is that not too awful long ago, his new wife had written a very small book that I bought. And when I read it, it sounded just like what I went through when I went in that day with Bert and got his diagnosis. Because this is a star with like mega bucks, okay? And she even states in there stuff like, they didn't tell me anything. They just it was like they expected me to know all about it, and that was it. He has frontal lobe, that's it. Well, that's exactly what they did to me. So we can't say that, maybe better doctors, because it might be, but, maybe they charge more. But, so the point of my video here is, you have got to be an advocate for yourself. If you can't, or you need to appoint somebody who can if you can't, or if you don't feel that you can speak out for yourself, you need to appoint somebody who can. Because I just see too much of this going on with people who are especially over 60 years old. It's like most of the doctors, they just don't take things serious. And even with colonoscopies. Remember I was telling you about the lady who, because they had told Bert, you don't need one anymore, you're 79 years old, you don't need no colonoscopy no more. And then I read online, this woman, this daughter, her mom was told the same thing, okay? Well, her mom ended up dying from colon cancer because they just said, oh, she wouldn't need that because she wouldn't get it. Or if she did, it wouldn't get bad enough until she was probably older anyway, which I know what they meant, right? So be careful with doctors. And if you can't ask your doctor questions and they can't answer you, then you need to find somebody else. And I know how hard that is. It's difficult as hell. You get used to a doctor, you get used to the things they do, you get used to the way they prescribe your medicine and everything. And it is so damn hard to switch to a new doctor. And especially at our age, it really is. Now, this nurse practitioner is supposed to be a specialist in anxiety and geriatrics, okay? Whether she is or not, I don't know. I wouldn't say she was. And it's not that, she's not a real nasty person, it's just that she's very short, and it's like you get in there and she wants to rush you out. Get it done, rush you out. And when at the end of my visit yesterday, I asked her, I said, well, don't you think I should at least go check out, have the gynecologist check me? She said, oh, you can do that if you want to. Like I said, it's probably a waste of time because ain't nobody going to want to mess with it since you had it done 4 times or something like that. And I said, okay. So I thought you had made me, somebody told me she had made me, she had given me a referral and made the referral to the gynecologist. But when I leave my visits every time I go in, they hand you a paper of what was said, what was given you, whatever, on the, for your visit. There was no gynae on there. There was nothing on there. But anyway, so I asked the young lady who had taken me into the room, and she said, oh, yeah. Hold on a second, please. Nobody calls unless I'm doing things. Anyway, she said, oh, yeah, she did. She already gave you that referral. You just, I would just call them to make sure that, they got it. So as soon as I got in the car, I started looking at the paperwork they gave me. But I just got so disgusted because I didn't see no name of any gynae on there. I didn't see no phone number of any gynae. And so I asked them, I text back to them, asked them about that. They said, oh, we don't need to give you a referral, just you find somebody. I said, I don't know who to go to. I mean, I don't know anybody out here. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. We always, and I told you all this before, we always think, well, they're the doctor, we're the patient. Yeah, but we're the damn customer, okay? And we need to start acting like we're paying these people, because it don't matter if your Medicare's paying, if your Medicaid's paying, I don't care. They need to treat you like a person. And it doesn't matter if you have one foot in the grave. If you have something that they can fix, they ought to be doing that. And I just feel that right now, it's not being done. Now, it might be in other places. I'm not going to say everybody. But I just seen a bunch of doctors that are just passing shit off, It's like, oh, yeah, well, that happens at your age. Well, yeah, this. No, that's not the way a doctor's supposed to act. And our biggest problem in the U.S. today is we are short of doctors. People ain't going to school to be doctors anymore. One thing, because it's a hard as hell job, And for the other thing, the malpractice insurance is sky high. So I don't know what the answer is, but I do want my subscribers and the people who watch my channel to at least know that just because a doctor tells you something does not mean he's 100% right. Just because he thinks that you shouldn't check with somebody else, check with them. And don't do what I did and walk out and not ask for a name or whatever. Because once I got out of there and I was looking up names, everything that is a gynecologist is at least 50 miles away from me. So, that's all I can tell you. And the clinic is only 15 minutes away, the one I went to yesterday. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with us living in Texas. I really don't. I don't care that I live in Texas, but I do care for the simple fact that we're getting older and we deserve some good medical care and, things like that. Just because we're older doesn't mean we shouldn't. And I don't know why, guys. I just get that feeling that they think, well, like with colon cancer, right? That's supposed to be a slow-growing cancer. So, according to some people, they're saying, well, they feel that it takes about 10 years for that to grow and kill you. So, probably in 10 years, you'll be dead already. That's what they told me, and not the doctors, just other people who have answered me in my videos or whatever saying that's what they think, and I hate to say it, but I'm getting there too, right with them. So guys, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I've been sitting here trying to figure out, but I know I'm going to see a gynecologist because I shouldn't have to live like this with something falling down and them saying, oh, but it's not worth fixing because nobody's going to want to touch it. Really? Then I want a good reason why they won't. And that's what you need to do. But I love y'all. Didn't want to be a damper on your day, but I did want to tell you about that because, you know, I know there's a lot of people out there and they're very passive. And doctors and nurses and everything, they're afraid to ask questions to that doctor and nurse. Don't be afraid. And if she acts like she don't know, tell her to find out from somebody. Like the doctor who's supposed to at least see you once a year, I think. That's in the office, you know. But anywho, guys, have a great day. I hope it's not raining or snowing or cold or look over by where you're at. It's just one of the nasty slow rains today. I can take that. I love all you guys. Take care of yourselves. Stick up for yourself. Just because you're a woman and you're an older lady, don't let nobody mess with you. Love y'all.